I'm back. Oh my goodness, I don't know what happened, but I'm back. Let's try this again. Um, again, Assalamu alaikum, it's Nia Malika Dixon. I am the co-editor at Sapelo Square, and we are in the middle of an artist's conversation with Amir Sulaiman. I don't know what happened, but we lost the connection, and I am back. Hopefully he'll jump back in, and we're going to talk about Ramy and his short film debut, actually, which he alluded to right before we got disconnected for some reason. We're going to try again. So the last thing we were talking about was Come to the Hills, which is scarily relevant right now. Are you?
Okay.
I see you.
Yes.
Can you see me?
Can you hear me? Yes, I can see you.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
so sorry. I don't know what happened. Technical
Me
difficulty.
neither. Yes. It's IG is IG being IG. IG gonna IG. That's one thing we know for sure.
Well, I don't want us to go over because I know you have a meeting after this. So if you do have time to give us a little bit of Come to the Hill since people are not able to see it.
hmm Actually, Come to the Hills is one of those poems that it's like I won't even know how to do one part of it.
And don't, because
Yeah.
I would prefer that they go watch it. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. So, but it's like I said, soon come. We're actively actually. That's one of the things. As soon as I get off of, we finish our conversation. That we're in production mode. In a project that I was alluding to before called "Laying Flowers, Setting Fires,"
Yes,
and
thank you.
yeah, it was inspired by just you know, I mean, it's a poem like "We Must Win." You kind of, in one way, I'm happy because it's like it's so relevant, and I wrote something that resonates, that's so relevant. And in another way, it's like, man, I almost wish a poem like this would become passe, like become like, why are you still writing about stuff like this? It's not even a thing anymore. Like this is from a bygone era. You know what I mean? I
Right.
would love that. I would love that, but it's not a bygone era. It's very much today, very much now. And so I started to write around that piece, a larger piece. And while I was writing it, there were images and sounds and music coming to me, and I was like, this is actually a short film, and so it was. So I was like, I wrote it. I wrote the screenplay, and I called some of my good friends and people that we had talked about collaborating for quite some time. And so my good friend Michael Fernandez, who is one of the DPs for Beyonce's Black is King, and also he was the cinematographer for The Barrel of Kojo, and my brother who's my most oft collaborative partner for him and to produce, and it'll be my first time directing, so my directorial debut. And
So tell us what the laying flowers, setting fires means.
well, the title came because there's a lot of mourning and grief happening, and that um and we have to acknowledge that, and that's real, and we can't get around that or pretend that it's not there. But I just don't like when it remains there. I don't like that until we identify with it in a way that this is who I am. I'm a grieving person. I am an oppressed person. I don't like that way of talking about ourselves. This is something we're experiencing, but it's not who we are. And sometimes that language can be and those images can be, we're not, our brains, our hearts, our spirits are not designed to see ourselves on Facebook or Instagram being murdered, like on a loop. Like the mind and the heart, the spirit is not designed to sustain that type of thing. So it can just really suck all of the power out of you, out of a person, all of the motive. It just can make a person feel just very heavy and hopeless and tired, like just a fatigue, just tired. And so, but I need to acknowledge that part because that's a real part of the process. But then there's also setting fires, which
Oh.
engagement, you know what I mean, of setting fires. And so I wanted to write something that engaged both states of those beings, a very active state of a very active state while acknowledging the mournful, grieved state. And so that's kind of the two sides of the story. It's very much it's a poem, but it's a dirge, it's a eulogy, it's a war cry, it's a battle dance,
Is it a feature film or a short film?
it's a short.
Okay.
The runtime will be about 20 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And when do you plan to go and shoot?
When do I what?
And to go and shoot?
Shoot, you said? Yeah, so we shoot in about 3 weeks. Yeah.
Oh,
So
wonderful. So
yeah,
you're in the midst of pre-production.
yeah. So we're like yesterday was location scouting.
Right.
I'm storyboarding. I'm in that part of the process. And actually, the conversation I had right before I'm having our conversation now was with the producer that we may even have to shoot even a little earlier because we have a hard deadline to get it out. Anyway, the good news is that this is going to come out very soon. It has to come out very soon. That we want it to come out before the elections. So
Oh,
we,
wonderful.
yeah, so it's going to have to be out by the end of October. So
All
I can,
right.
yeah, inshallah. So we're in it. You know what I mean? We're in
All
it.
right. Well, we're waiting. We're
Yeah,
waiting. In the meantime, people can catch up on your creativity as experienced through Ramy. So tell us a little bit about what it's like to write Mahershala Ali's character.
yeah. That was such an amazing experience the way it happened. It wasn't necessarily an aspiration of mine to write for television or particularly for a comedy, but the way events came together, good brother Mo Amr, the comedian, um, who is on the show, who's plays on the show, had mentioned me to Ramy, and then in Mahershala's initial conversations with Ramy when they started to kind of throw around ideas on how he would be involved in the show, um, he mentioned me as well. So Ramy and I had never met before, and so then it was like, hey, maybe he can come down. And at first I was just going to come down and consult with the writers room for a day, really like 3 hours. I was going to come and talk about Black Islam and Black Sufism in America, and all of these types of things in my lived experience. And then it was like, hey, can you stay for a few more days? And then, hey, could you write an episode? And then, hey, could you come on set? So then I was a writer and an associate producer on the show.
Yeah.
But it
Now
was,
tell everybody why it was so very important to have you there in the beginning, in the
yeah,
first place. Because, I could start talking about how you should have been there as a writer from the start. But let's just inform the audience why it's very important to have someone like you in that writer's room.
yeah. And one of the reasons, even, I told Ramy, because the way I entered into the production was very odd. It was very last minute, and so even there was, in order for contracts and all that kind of business office stuff to catch up with what we were doing. But I told him, I was like, listen, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I even called my sheikh. I was, and asked him about it. And because it's something it's just something that's very easy to get wrong, and it's no fault to Ramy or no fault to anyone. It's a very, very specific experience, and it's just very easy to not get right. And so I didn't want to not do it for whatever, some business reason or something like that. And then we have this show and a great opportunity like having Mahershala there. I mean, we couldn't, dream of a better talent, a better brother to play that role. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to drop the ball. And if they're saying, we don't want to drop the ball either. Will you help us not drop the ball? I didn't even feel right as a Muslim. Like I didn't feel right in my soul to be like, nah, you know, me and y'all are on your own, you know.
Right,
So
because yeah, when it comes to your soul business, you know, when you face Allah, talking about contracts is not going to help you out.
exactly, exactly. And so I was like, listen, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out something fair, you know. And so it was a very much, I was trusting him, he was trusting me. And so that was really the beginning of the relationship between me and Ramy, which has grown into, you know, we're brothers now for real. And a lot of it was because of this journey that we went on together. And so I'm sharing a lot of my experiences and he's sharing a lot of his. And we really wanted to dive into what it is to be, and there's only so much you can do in one season, only so much you can do in a comedy sitcom. You know, it's not the environment that you would think that we would have this discussion.
Right.
But the first time, not complete, not perfect. There's all kinds of things that could be different about it. But it was our first attempt at a Black American Sufi, like a Black American sheikh. And that was big for us. It was big for me. It was big for Mahershala, big for Ramy. Everyone was very excited. Everyone was very nervous. Everyone was being very careful and wanting to, you know, everybody really, really, really wanted to get it right the best we could. And as you know, as a creator, even for your own project, sometimes things don't come out the way even you want it. And it wasn't because of any outside forces. It's just the way it is. So we had to work really tightly and really trust each other to bring forward this character in a beautiful and noble way. His daughter, you know, in a beautiful way as best we could, and making them real and giving them texture, giving them depth, giving them strength, giving them agency, and making it funny and all of that.
A lot of people don't usually watch Ramy who look like us, so
Yeah.
it was kind of an incentive for us to connect these two cultures together and
Yeah.
be that bridge. But here's the thing about writers' rooms. Usually there aren't people who look like us in them.
Yeah.
So can you talk about like the whole dynamic in the writers' room? Because there's a myth that, you know, as a writer you get to go off and write an episode and then you turn it in and they do it. And that's not how it works. So
Yeah.
some of the characters are coming from different people and some of the dialogue. Share that.
Yeah, it's not how it works at all. And this was very new for me. So I've been working with language my whole life, but poetry is a very solitary experience. It's a very singular experience, you know. There's not two or three people that have anything to do with my poetry, but writing for television is like the radical opposite side of the spectrum. From the very, very, very beginning, before even the first word is written, there's a lot of talking, a lot of different voices and different. So it was a very, very strange experience in that way for me, and it took some letting go to be able to engage and to be able to, you know, do my job well and serve well, you know.
A lot of people are asking about Zaynab's character because as Black Muslim women, and I'm one of those Black Muslim women who thought they should have got somebody to help her with her stars.
Yes. I can't even lie. Even on set, I can't lie. Like even on set, and you know, again, you know, you've been on sets before, and so you know, that's a whole department. It's a whole, you know, and I was concerned, and I can tell you, as your Muslim brother, I tried. I made suggestions. Listen, it would have been way more out of pocket. I'm just telling you. But I do agree. You know, there were several things, but anyway. But the point is two things. Number one, that's why they hired me there. So the dynamic, just to answer that question very quickly, it was very open. They were they were calling me in. It wasn't like I forced my way into a writer's room, like, you know, there's not enough Black Muslims on this show. You need me, and they had to like under pressure, relent.
How many were there in there? Were you the only one?
Black Muslim in the room, yeah. So there were 3 Muslims in the room, 4 including myself, out of, I don't know, 8 people. So yeah, maybe about half of the room was Muslim. I was only Black Muslim, so they were besides Mahershala, he wasn't like in the room every day, but he, you know, obviously he contributed for sure, and so it was basically on me as far as that aspect of the show, you know. So I have to take, you know, equal whatever praise and whatever failures I have to take responsibility for. But it's a lot to you know, so many things are like default settings with us because it's culture. It's like things you don't think about or you don't articulate, and having to articulate them, and so, you know, it was our best effort. It was our best effort to bring this character to life and to even just open the conversation about this type of person in the world, you know. So that's this, and then with the next, we're getting ready to go into the room for next season next month, and so, and then we, you know, see how the journey proceeds from there. You know what I mean?
Can we get a spin-off? Can we just like have
Just this is a now show. If it was up to me personally, and maybe it will be up to me. Maybe it'll be like, hey, I want to produce this. I'm not mad at it at all. I would absolutely love that. Yourself, and I see Dr. Suat here. I would love, like, that would be a wonderful adventure for us. I would love that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I would love that. Yeah. So we'll see.
There are so many Black Muslim women writers that could have helped with that character, you know, and just having one in the room, I just, you know, I need to call that out. Just like Dr. Suat said, we got to call that out. Just having one Black Muslim in the room is not enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't even get me started about how many women were in there, you know.
Say that again?
The ratio of women to men. That's another issue, you know?
Yeah. Actually, in this room, it was almost a half, I think.
Oh, well, that's good. If half of the
maybe not half. Maybe closer to like, maybe it's like more like 40%, maybe. In the room, because actually, when I counted originally, I think I left off Maytha because she wasn't there every day in the room, but she was definitely there.
Comment. Comment. Like Naeem said, writers like Nia.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I'm not the only one. I am not the only one. You know, there are so many Black Muslim women who are out here in this industry trying to get their stories made too. So
I know.
You're our pioneer, brother.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing
a great job.
I'm trying my best. Thank you so much, mashallah. Yeah, pray for your brother. It's not just in this particular experience. It wasn't hard in the way that I was getting a lot of resistance. It wasn't hard in that way. The hardest part was just, like I said, trying to take our experience and articulate all the detail, the little things that make it what it is. Yeah, it's so. I didn't realize how challenging it would be until I was having to explain it, you know, and do it. But they were, like I said, they were the ones drawing me in, like, please, we need more. Please advise us on this. Please help us with that. And it wasn't me, you know, knocking on the door, like, hey, very open, very receptive, very, you know, all of that. And it's just more to do, meaning there's more seasons, more shows, more films, more, you know, and that's really the point I think what you're making is not just that this particular Ramy show is going to have to do that job, but we just need more stories. Yeah.
That's right, more. And I want to close out with your experience, your recent experience with Dave Patel, another Black Muslim in the industry out here. You know, he recently held a 2-week retreat. Toby Widway was there. Our brother Amir Sulaiman was there. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was dope. So Dave and his farm, there's so much to say about it. We only have 3 minutes, but like Dave on his ranch in Ohio is holding these events. And as many of you probably saw in the 846 special, it's that same space. And it's just like this little oasis because they're doing constant testing. And so, and everyone, all the performers and whatnot, they're in like a quote unquote a bubble where it's like there's a performance space, the place where we're staying, this food place, whatever. And so you're only around people who have been tested and test negative. So it has this like pre-COVID feel where you're not, you're around people, to see people, hug people. So it's very nice in that way. And it's the only live set going on. So all kind of people would stop through. So, David Letterman is there one night. Kevin Hart was there for a couple of nights. Toby, pops up. Jon Stewart pops up. Chris Rock pops up. So it's like, it's this, it's almost like Woodstock, but it's just going, it's been going. When I was there, they were on their like 35th show or something like that. So they've been doing these shows and they're back at it again. And so it's I was honored to be there and be a part of it. It really felt like this is history. I really had that feeling like this is a legacy moment, and so to be there and to present my work and to serve that space and the vision that Dave has for that space and this time, it was it was really special. I was really honored, I performed We Must Win, Come to the Hills, and performed Like a Thief, and the sets were short. They're only like 10-minute sets because there were so many people that were going, but it was something to be, and that was Mo Amir who linked me up. He was like, yo, you should come, and he was, Dave is, he's heard my work before and whatnot, so he already had a relationship with my work, but Mo was the one that was really like, yo, come through and talk to Dave, like, yo, Amir's gonna come through. It's like, cool. So Mo Amir was the one who linked me with the Ramy show. Mo Amir was the one who linked me with the Dave Chappelle. Mo Amir was the plug, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Mo Amir, right? That brother doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, exactly. He's putting your brother in position. So, but it was dope, man. It was really beautiful, and I was really honored to be a part of it. Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time. We have to go. I know you have a meeting, and I want to respect your time.
Thank you so much.
I could talk to you for hours, brother.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like we just got started. Like we were just warming up.
I know.
We'll have to do it again, though, inshallah. We'll have to do it again. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Nia. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you to Sapelo Square and the work that you guys are doing and the way that you guys have always, you as an individual and all of you as an organization, but I know many of you individually, and you've always supported me, you've always lifted me up, and you've always helped me, you've always advised me, and so that I don't take that lightly. I don't see that as a small thing, so I'm very grateful to you, and I'm asking Allah to bless you and to honor you and to raise you up. Allahumma ameen. Yeah.
All right, brother. Have a blessed evening, and I'll catch you on the next one.
It sounds good.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.